will have complete control of Iranian skies, uncontested airspace. And Iran will be able to do nothing about it.
Just days ago, President Trump stood before the nation and said this about Iran's ability to threaten American aircraft. They have no anti-aircraft equipment. Their radar is 100% annihilated. We are unstoppable as a military force. On Friday, April 3rd, 2026, Iran shot down an American fighter jet over Iranian soil. Then they hit a second one. Today, we're breaking down everything that happened. What was shot down, how it unfolded, what these aircraft actually are, and why this moment could be a turning point in a conflict that has already been going on for over a month. To understand the weight of what happened, we need a quick recap. On February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel jointly launched Operation Epic Fury, a massive air campaign targeting Iran's nuclear program, missile infrastructure, and military apparatus. For weeks, American aircraft struck Iranian targets with near total impunity, and U.S. officials repeatedly assured the public that Iran's air defenses had been effectively neutralized. But the war had already cost lives. 13 Americans have been killed since the operation began. 3 F-15Es were lost to friendly fire over Kuwait on March 2nd. 6 airmen died in a KC-135 tanker crash over Iraq. And now, for the first time, a confirmed combat loss of a crewed U.S. aircraft over Iranian territory. Incident 1. An F-15E Strike Eagle, a 2-seat multi-role fighter, was shot down while conducting a combat mission over Iranian territory. Both crew members ejected, a pilot and a weapons systems officer. U.S. Special Operations Forces launched an immediate combat search and rescue mission. 1 crew member was successfully recovered alive from Iranian soil. As of this recording, the fate of the 2nd crew member remains unknown. The search is ongoing. Iran's state media published videos from the crash site. CNN geolocated some of that footage to Khuzestan province in southwestern Iran, roughly 180 miles south of Tehran. Local Iranian TV called on residents to find the pilot, promising a reward equivalent to $60,000. A regional governor made the same public appeal. The aircraft is believed to be from the 494th Fighter Squadron, the Panthers, based at RAF Lakenheath in the United Kingdom. Debris analysis by multiple defense analysts confirms the wreckage is consistent with an F-15E, not the F-35 Iran initially claimed. Incident 2. A-10 Thunderbolt II. In a separate incident the same day, an A-10 Thunderbolt II, known as the Warthog, was struck by Iranian fire during its mission. What happened next is remarkable. The pilot managed to fly the damaged aircraft out of Iranian airspace entirely. He made it to Kuwait before ejecting and was subsequently rescued. The plane was destroyed on impact, but the pilot is alive and safe. The rescue helicopters were hit too during the search for the missing F-15E crew member. 2 U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopters involved in the rescue effort were also struck by Iranian fire. The U.S. confirmed both helicopters were hit and personnel were injured, but both aircraft were able to return to base. Let's take a few minutes to talk about the aircraft, because understanding what the F-15E is tells you a lot about the scale of this loss. The F-15E Strike Eagle is one of the most capable and storied aircraft in the U.S. Air Force inventory. It was developed by McDonnell Douglas in the 1980s as a radical evolution of the original F-15 Eagle air superiority fighter. The original F-15 was built to do one thing: win dogfights. Its unofficial motto at the time was, "Not a pound for air to ground." But the Strike Eagle flipped that concept entirely. It kept the Eagle's legendary air-to-air capabilities, then layered in a deep strike, precision ground attack role on top. A true dual-role fighter. The F-15E first flew on December 11, 1986, and entered operational service in 1989. Two Pratt & Whitney engines produced 29,000 pounds of thrust each, giving the aircraft a top speed of Mach 2.5, over 1,600 miles per hour. Combat range, roughly 2,300 miles. Service ceiling, over 50,000 feet. Max takeoff weight, around 81,000 pounds fully loaded. Weapons load includes a 20mm Gatling cannon, AIM-9 Sidewinder, and AIM-120. AMRAAM air-to-air missiles, and virtually the entire U.S. arsenal of precision-guided bombs and air-to-ground missiles. It has one of the highest payload capacities of any U.S. tactical fighter, second only to its newer sibling, the F-15EX. The crew consists of two, a pilot in the front seat and a weapons systems officer in the rear. Think of it like a quarterback and a strategist in the same cockpit. The pilot flies. The WSO controls all targeting systems, sensors, and weapons management, especially during complex strike missions. The F-15E first saw combat in Operation Desert Storm in 1991, flying mostly at night to hunt mobile Scud missile launchers deep inside Iraqi territory. It went on to serve in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Libya, and now Iran. Here's the stat that makes Friday's loss so significant. Across the entire F-15 family's history, more than 50 years of operations, the aircraft had never been shot down in air-to-air combat. Not once. Its record: over 100 aerial victories, 0 losses in air-to-air combat. Friday was the first confirmed combat loss of a crewed U.S. aircraft over Iranian soil since Operation Epic Fury began. The F-15E is also the only U.S. aircraft currently certified to carry tactical nuclear weapons, specifically the B-61 Mod 12 bomb, with over 200 still in active service. The downed jet belonged to the 494th Fighter Squadron, the Panthers, of the 48th Fighter Wing, based at RAF Lakenheath in the UK, one of the Air Force's primary frontline strike units. The reaction from all sides was telling. When reporters pressed Trump on the shoot-down, he declined to discuss specifics of the rescue operation. Asked if the events would affect Iran negotiations, he said simply, "No, not at all." When pushed on what the U.S. would do if the missing pilot is harmed, Trump said only, "We hope that's not going to happen," and refused further comment. Iran's parliament speaker, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, was openly mocking on social media, writing, "After defeating Iran 37 times in a row, this brilliant no-strategy war they started has now been downgraded from regime change to, hey, can anyone find our pilots? Please?" Wow, what incredible progress. Israel temporarily suspended airstrikes in areas relevant to the rescue operation. Putin and Erdogan held an emergency call, jointly calling for an immediate ceasefire. Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, usually one of Trump's closest European allies, publicly stated she disagreed with the U.S. approach, saying when she disagrees, she must say so. The White House, meanwhile, released a proposed defense budget the same day. A record $1.5 trillion for fiscal year 2027, a 40% increase over last year. Someone in Washington is clearly planning for a long fight. So why does this matter beyond the immediate tragedy of a downed aircraft and a missing airman? First, this is the first confirmed combat loss of a U.S. crewed aircraft over Iran since the war began. Not a friendly fire incident, not an accident, a combat kill by Iranian air defenses. Second, it directly contradicts the administration's core narrative. If Iran's radar was 100% annihilated and they had no anti-aircraft equipment, this couldn't have happened. Iran clearly still has functional, capable air defense systems, and they just proved it. Third, the fate of the second crew member is unknown. If that airman has been captured, this becomes an extraordinarily sensitive situation, both for any potential peace negotiations and for American domestic politics. The prospect of a U.S. prisoner of war in Iran changes the calculus significantly. Fourth, defense analysts noted after this incident that high-end combat against an integrated air defense system is never risk-free. The question now is whether Washington adjusts its tactics or doubles down. On April 3, 2026, the U.S. Air Force lost one of its most powerful aircraft in combat over Iranian soil. One airman is home safe. A second is still missing. Iran proved its air defenses are alive, no matter what Washington claimed. And a conflict that's just over 5 weeks old keeps getting more dangerous, more complex, and more costly. What happens next depends on 3 things: whether that second crew member is found, how the U.S. responds to this very public blow to its narrative of total air dominance, and whether anyone on either side decides it's time to talk. Stay tuned. We'll keep covering this as it develops.